So in part 2, we're going to do some examples. Let's see if you can recognize some of these as we go. Okay? I'll read it to you, and then you can try and guess what it is in your head, and then we'll see if you're right, okay? All right. Arctic tundra is found across northern Alaska, Canada, and Siberia. This biome has long, cold winters and short, cool summers. The Arctic tundra has low precipitation, less than 10 inches per year, and dry winds. These conditions make the Arctic tundra a desert-like climate. One unique characteristic of the Arctic tundra is permafrost, ground that is permanently frozen. Curiously, during the summer, Arctic tundra is characterized by lots of surface water. Another characteristic of Arctic tundra is the limited amount of sunlight it receives due to the position of the sun in the sky. Depending on the latitude, the sun can remain below the horizon for up to 2 months, leaving the Arctic tundra in darkness. Although the sun remains in the sky 24 hours a day during the summer, it stays close to the horizon and provides only low-intensity sunlight. Okay. Do you think you know what it is? Well, you know it's about the Arctic tundra, and it tells you a lot about the Arctic tundra. Describes it. So which of it do you think it is? You might want to take a look at your list. Okay. Did you guess enumeration and listing? If you did, you are correct. Okay, our next one. A little smaller here. Curiously, during the summer, Arctic tundra is characterized by lots of surface water. When the snow melts, the water percolates through the active layer but is unable to penetrate the permafrost. Since the water has nowhere to go, the active layer then becomes saturated and pools of water form on the surface. Okay, this is about it's about what happens to the water. The snow melts, the water percolates through the layer, but it can't break through the permafrost. Since it has nowhere to go, it becomes saturated and then pools form. So, do you think you know it? It's cause and effect. That water being unable, it can't penetrate through the permafrost, so the effect is that it makes these pools on the surface. Cause, permafrost, water melting, stuck in the permafrost. Effect, it makes these pools on the surface. If you haven't been able to tell, I'm pulling these are topics that you've covered in science and are currently covering in science. Hopefully this is going to help you stay focused and understand them a little bit more. We're going to talk producers and consumers, which you should be talking about right now in science. Producers and consumers work together in a food chain, but they're very different. While producers use energy to create food, consumers eat the producers to get their energy. Producers are plants, but consumers are animals. Both producers and consumers are present in every ecosystem, but the role of each is very different. Think you know it? I think that's a pretty easy one. Compare, contrast. All right, decomposers are considered the cleanup crew in the ecosystem. They are the last link in the food chain. First, the producers create the food. Next, the consumers feed on the producers, and secondary consumers feed on primary consumers. But when consumers poop and die, they leave remains. Then the decomposers, which are fungus and bacteria, break down the nutrients in the dead stuff and return it to the soil. The producers can then use the nutrients and elements once it's in the soil. The decomposers complete the system, returning essential molecules to the producers. Well, I see some keywords here that should help you. I see first, but when. I see a then. Complete the system. Hopefully you can identify that these words show you a process. First, then, finally, complete a system. Okay? Okay, our next one. Bioaccumulation. Bioaccumulation is the increase in concentration of a substance in the living organisms as they take in contaminated air, water, or food. As bigger animals eat smaller animals, the level of contamination in the food is added to the level of contamination already in their body. Bioaccumulation is a problem in the north because of higher concentrations of toxic pollution. So you're talking about bioaccumulation, and there's a lot of facts. But what I want you to notice about this is, even if you don't quite understand what bioaccumulation is it something that you can touch? No, it's an idea, right? It's something that happens. It's a concept. And this whole paragraph defines what bioaccumulation is. So that one is concept and definition. Okay, hopefully you got some of those and you feel good about it, but you can keep coming back to this video. I actually would like you now to go to your next rotation, and you're going to go into your Google Drive and you're going to use internal organizational practice number 1. And we're going to use some more science passages, and then you're going to come to me and we'll talk about if you are understanding them. Okay?